What's up, lifelong learners? This is a quick tutorial about how to practice dynamic linking between Photoshop, Premiere Pro, and After Effects. So first thing you were supposed to do was create a podcast-like design. Okay, so mine just happens to be a Happy Hang podcast. I made my smiley mouth, so on and so forth, right? So I'm going to now go to Premiere Pro, and then I'm going to start a project in Premiere Pro. I'll call it the Happy Hang Podcast Demo. Okay. And then I'm going to assign where this is going to be saved. So I'm going to choose my location, and I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to choose the After Effects Audio Spectrum folder that I've created earlier. And I have my Happy Hang Podcast design right there. I'll select that. And then I'm going to skip import mode, and then I'm going to click create. I can't speak, it's getting late. So now I'm going to create a new sequence, file, new sequence. I'm going to go ahead and choose 1080p 30 frames per second. And then this is going to be a podcast about the racial wealth gap podcast. I'll just call it that. Okay. And then I'm going to click OK. So now I have a sequence, and I am going to drag and drop that Happy Hang podcast. Just remember where you save this file, okay? Make sure it's the PSD. Drag and drop it onto the timeline, okay? I'll leave it like that. And then I'm going to enable my setting for audio recording, audio hardware. Make sure you choose the default input mic as the Rode PodMic USB. External would be headphones. You can hear yourself if you want to hear yourself. Click OK. And then I'm going to click this right here to record my response to a video or some kind of response I ask you to do. So click this record button. Wait. All right, so this is a demo that I'm doing for my students regarding a response to the racial wealth gap that happens in America, the difference between black and brown communities and then whites. Now, there's nothing against white people. It's just that sometimes the system is built to, I guess, favor particular people, all right? And people of color have been minorities that have not learned how to play the game of how to build wealth, maintain your wealth, and then have generational wealth. So this was really about banking system and how that was unfair to black folks. But yeah, that's my response to the video. And then this is my demo. I'm going to stop right here now because this is just a demo. And then I click that to stop. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the / key that's right above the return. And then I'll full screen or make the timeline go zoomed in like that. And then I'm going to drag this over, cut this part off because it was just quiet. I don't need this extra stuff. Okay, I'll just drag this over, click and trim. There. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the PSD file over to Adobe After Effects. So right now we see this, but it's going to disappear. Don't freak out. It's okay. Right click on this, and then you're going to replace with After Effects composition. And then After Effects was already open, so now I just need to make a title for this, which is going to be the Racial Wealth Gap Podcast Response. Okay. I'm just giving it a different name so that way I don't get all crazy. And then if you see AE in the back right there, AEP, it just means After Effects project. And now I make sure I pick the same folder. So After Effects Audio Spectrum, click save. Make sure it's all saved in the same folder. All right. Now, how do I find the file that was just recorded? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to right click on this, and then I'm going to go to Reveal in Finder, which is down here. What was I doing? It's right here. Click on Reveal in Finder. And then what happened was this recording was saved in this folder that Premiere made for me, and then Premiere organized it into the Happy Hang Podcast demo folder. And then in that folder, the audio is saved there, this green audio right here. So I'm going to drag that green audio and put it on to the After Effects. Click and drag, drop, okay? Now, what I wanna do is I wanna select not the audio wave, okay, but select the Happy Hang Podcast PSD file. Click on that layer and then go over here and you're going to search up the audio spectrum right there, okay? Drag and drop that audio spectrum effect, okay, onto the Happy Hang Podcast PSD. Click and drop. Now, don't freak out. It's okay. The layer became a transparent layer so that you can see the audio spectrum. Okay, so the audio spectrum effect basically nullifies and basically makes the PSD file that you had designed earlier into a see-through file or a see-through layer. Okay, so don't freak out. It's still in Premiere. Don't freak out. It's still in Premiere. Don't worry about it. We're going to get there in a little bit. Okay, so we are going to now link the audio. We're going to go here to link this audio because the audio wave will not work if you try to play without linking the audio. So I'm going to push spacebar. All right, so this is a demo that I'm doing for myself. Okay, you can hear me talking, but you don't see the wave moving until you link the audio by clicking here, switching from the Happy Hang Podcast PSD to the audio 1.wave. And now when I play this back, you can see the wave right there changed. All right, I'm not going to change the colors, change the size. Maybe I'll change the size. All right, I'll change the size. But I'm not going to go through and change the color. Oh, you know, I'll just do it. Forget it. I'll just do it. I'll change this to red to match the theme of my podcast. And then I'm going to leave this alone and push Command S to save, or go to File and then push Save right here. Now that I've saved this, what's going to happen here is Premiere is going to get updated because this is the whole point of dynamic linking. You do something in After Effects and look, it pops up in Premiere. Now you're freaking out like, oh my goodness, where's my design from before? It's okay. This layer now has been transformed into a After Effects layer. Okay, it's an After Effects project layer that you brought in or created. It's okay, just move it up and then just drag the Happy Hang Podcast PSD file back into the bottom layer. And then what's going to happen here is you can drag it across like that again. Look, I have my PSD file and then I have my After Effects wave that I can just use scale, position, rotation in effects right here to drag it down like that. Okay. And then I have my fancy little waveform right here with a logo. So this is basic and simple, but it's just to help you understand how these tools work. So now I'm going to finish this by clicking on here, go to File, go to Export, go to Media, and then you're going to go to, you're going to name it. All right, it's called Racial Wealth Gap Podcast, whatever you want to name it. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to choose YouTube 1080p. And then I'm going to keep this as H.264. And then I'm going to click here to make sure I'm in the audio effects, After Effects audio spectrum folder. I'm going to export it into this folder right here. So I'm going to click Save and then I click Export. This is going to quickly export this and then you will see it right here. I don't know why it's taking a long time, but it is going to be in this folder right here. So right there, see? This is exporting right now. That's what's happening. All right. Okay. So yeah, that is how you do it. And that's the file that you would submit. All right. Rock, paper, peace. That's how we say goodbye.